Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome dear friends. Inshallah we will continue with studying the 25th word from the author about the Qur'an, its miraculousness, the style that we are engaging with, inshallah. So last time the author was sharing about a few verses, basically what we went over a little bit about what worship meant. Right, so it said the Quran, giving the example of when the Quran speaks, the sun sets its course. It says the Quran does not speak of the sun for the sake of the sun, but for the one who illuminates it. So it's not just telling the details of what the sun is like, what its journey is, but it gives who is the owner and who is arranging the whole system, who has the sun in place. So the one who illuminates it, the one, so it's not the sun really that's illuminating with its light, or was there's a source behind it. So that was pretty significant. And then we also looked at, I think there was something about what mer what let's see. So the mention of the sun is not for the sake of the sun. The Quran makes us use our consciousness. Yeah, that's the other point I wanted to mention as well. So every verse that is there in the Quran, it grabs our attention in a way, makes us aware and conscious. That's how the style of the Quran is listed, by asking, look at this, look at that. Have you thought about this? Who is arranging this? So there are many ways. Why don't you ponder over this? Why don't you think about this? So it captures our attention in that sense. So we have to use our consciousness when engaging with the Quran. All right, so we studied this particular verse, which mentioned about, we looked at the word darabtum, daraba, right? So not to call anyone basically a disbeliever, whoever says salams or peace and greetings to any of us. So we're not supposed to. This is the guidance that tells us that do not call them a disbeliever. Right? And so it's telling me, that's another thing to be careful. Fatabayyanu was the word. So don't become proud and arrogant. We spoke about that as well. So that's how kind of the style of the verses, when they kind of mention many things, but we have to be careful how we need to engage with the verses, that they're talking to me. Basically, that's what we need to be concerned with. So I need to benefit from the verses. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think, yeah, this was the phrase here, worship. We spoke about that as well. Like when it talks about the sun, it talks about who the owner and who is the majestic being who is taking care, arranging everything. So there's the sun has a source of existence, right? So whatever we think as thing that is coming to be the source of existence, that is what we are worshiping. Like if we think that the fruit is coming from the tree, then we become We are worshiping the tree in that sense. Or if we think that light is coming from the sun, then we are worshiping the light, the sun in that sense. So that was a good point as well.
Acknowledging that it is the source of its existence of its life.
Acknowledgement.
Worship people usually understand as standing in front of turning to sun and bowing down or something. No, acknowledging that it is the source of the light.
It is the source of light. Yeah.
That is acknowledgement.
That is okay. Yeah. But it's yes, it is not the source of light though.
But if someone thinks in this way, acknowledges it, that's why we understand that we bow down before Allah, although there is nobody in front of us or nothing in front of us. Acknowledgement. Acknowledging its existence, his existence,
is worship.
And presenting it in this world physically. Because it is ghaibi, but the sun is not ghaibi. It is just in front of my eye.
Got it. All right, so we will continue with the next phrase, which starts from "It is because the Quran style." So this is just before the fourth point ends. So this is the last point that the author is making about from the third point about the Quran style is for the greater part elevated and brilliant in the ways described above, that on occasion Arab nomads were captivated by a single phrase, and without being Muslims would prostrate. One nomad prostrated on hearing the phrase, "Therefore proclaim openly what you are commanded."
Yeah.
Which is from the Quran, section 15, verse 94. So proclaim openly, meaning freely in a way, what you are commanded. And this phrasing kind of took the attention of whoever the example is being given. When asked, "Have you become a Muslim?" he replied, "No, I'm prostrating at the eloquence of these words." So there's that quality within the Quran itself, but not for educated people like us or who are studying and engaging, right? Although we just read it, maybe it doesn't really capture our attention as those, it caught the attention at that time, like the rhetoric and the speech of how the verses are being, like the one who's speaking, this is, "Therefore proclaim openly what you are commanded." There's a little some authority and some grandeur in these phrases. And this was not heard of at that time in the poetry as well. So all right, should we go to the fourth point?
Yeah.
Inshallah.
It is clear, isn't it?
It is clear, yeah. Okay, so this is the wonderful eloquence in its wording. So the words, that is in the words employed, they are employed, carefully chosen, consciously. Yes, just as the Quran is extraordinarily eloquent in regard to its style and manner of exposition, so is there a truly fluent eloquence in its wording. So their style is one thing, the way it approaches and mentions, and then the choices of words is also very carefully. We need to pay attention to them. So the eloquence in its wording. Clear evidence of the existence of this eloquence is the fact that it does not bore or cause weariness. While the testimony of the brilliant scholars of the sciences of rhetoric form a decisive proof of the wisdom of the eloquence. So there's the wisdom of eloquence that is confirmed by the scholars who study the rhetoric, the style of the Quran. And okay, and the part about he's saying that clear evidence of the existence of the eloquence is the fact that it does not bore or cause weariness. So within the word themselves, the way they're styled, structured, because it's supposed to talk to our spirit, right? So we need to engage our feelings with the Quran and our reasoning as well to use them while we're engaging with the Quran. So in that sense, yeah, definitely it should not cause any boredom because our spirit is kind of looking for it. Yes, the Quran does not become weary even if repeated thousands of times. Indeed, it gives pleasure. The Quran is not burdensome for the memory of a small and simple child. Children can memorize it easily. It is not unpleasant to the ear, pained by the slightest word of someone extremely ill. It is easy on it. It is like the sweet drink sherbet to the palate of one of in the throes of death.
Do you know what sherbet means?
Like a sweet drink. Sweet drink.
Sweet drink, yeah. Yeah. But in English, is it used?
English what?
In English, is it used?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Sherbet, huh?
Yeah. But it's still like cultural thing. Cultural term, yeah.
Do we notice that because my age allows me, and I gave it, alhamdulillah, because of my age, I experienced. In my youth, there were very, very widely used famous songs, poems, the lyric of the song.
Like, yeah.
Now, they are all forgotten.
Right.
Now, new ones. That after a certain time, people get tired of them. Although at first they say this is the best music, they keep listening.
Right.
I understand, but they are forgotten, almost forgotten, or become a history. But Quran, never. Now you read Fatiha, well, I don't think anybody a little bit understands what it is saying. Although Fatiha is not the best example of the Quran, balagha wise or eloquence wise, but the meaning and the style, you don't get tired of it. I don't know how people think. They may think that because you believe in it. I don't agree with it. You know, why? For example, when I listen to a music, I like it. Not because I believe that it is divinely inspired, because it is enjoyable. But after 10 years, I get tired of it, and I look for a new one. That is why continuously changing. Fashion, for example, continuously changing. Why? Because it is not according to human essence. It is artificial. But the Quran is not like them, like the examples, fashion, music, poems, not like them. Quran always, you read it if you understand a little bit, especially the early revelations of the Quran. Eloquence is top. No sample of it at all in the world.
In the earlier verses.
Yeah. The language is perfect, but Arab poem, poems are also amazing, really amazing, very delicately said, very sweet to eat it, and very sweet. You can really enjoy it. But because of the content, after a while, it becomes boring. Yeah. But the content is simple, meat of women or tribe or dates or camel, desert.
Right.
That's it. Or I don't remember about stars. But maybe, but I'm not expert on it at all. Just as far as the commentators narrate the poems to say that why I understood this verse in this way, because this is the essence of Arabic way of saying it, and the evidence they show the poems, they are so powerful. But because of the contents, they are complaining about they're getting old age. Recently, I read one of them. So they speak in a very delicate way, unimaginably delicate way. So like how can I say?
Emotionally engaging.
Not only emotional, descriptive. But they never say that, for example, I liked your hair. There is no such poem like this. I really loved your eyes, your hair. Yeah. No. They speak in such a way that I think the poet is referring to the beauty of her beloved's hair. So delicate to say it, descriptive, not a figurative saying, always beautiful, but content is, well, okay, what shall I do? But the Quran, together with his very how can I describe it? Now, every art is used in the eloquence of the Quran refers to another shade of the meaning the Quran is referring to or meant to be. But every art, another meaning, layer of meaning of the content. That is why it is endless. How can I? Well, for example, if you read the very powerful Arab poems, they point only one, not 10. I mean, one object. But as I mentioned earlier on, just before,
right,
uses an analogy, a beautiful way of saying it, describing, but not mentioning the hair. But you understand that the poet is really referring to the beauty of her beloved's hair, right? That's one point. Second, no.
Okay.
Now, Quran's eloquence is different.
I see.
Now, that is why sometimes I use that. Look, commentators use classical Arab poems to prove the meaning of one or two words in the Quran, Arabic, in Arabic, of course, all. The art is used, the art of eloquence is used there. They say, I understood this because that time this technique was used in this way in Arab poems.
I see.
Now, it means as if the criterion, I challenge sometimes if someone says,
It's a
You know,
point.
I know the Quran. Okay, how do you understand this? That is my way of pointing out that the Quran is unchallengeable. So now people may think that Arab poems were also as powerful, but only one point. One point the poet aims. When it comes to the Quran, Quran uses in the same phrase, "Fasta bima tutma," you know, no. What was the verse? Yes,
Proclaim
"Fasta bima tutma,"
openly.
yeah. "Fasta bima tutma." It is translated here as proclaim openly what you are commanded. All right. What you are commanded, all right. Bima tutma. But first, proclaim, not only proclaim. How do you say the cliff? You know, make a cliff, and from there point out what you want. Now, I cannot. How can I explain? Break something. Break. Is it break? No, not break only. Split something and take it out. What is inside and openly declare.
I see.
What is inside openly declared. For example, when you look at the first sada, the original word, it says breaking out, splitting, piercing.
Piercing through.
Now,
okay.
what is it to do with proclaim? Now, whatever you are,
opening up,
whatever you are commanded, take its truth and declare it out. But take it out. But its truth is so deep that you have to split and dig into it. For example, it is unimaginable word. Declaring is really the simple word. You know, bayyan. Not ista. No.
Right, that's a different word.
No,
Yeah,
Estas,
yeah.
beyan, beyan.
Right. Bayan, right.
That is why the Arab heard this and said, all the secrets must be taken out by breaking, splitting the thing.
I see.
And then message, and then opening it, declaring it then. So it is within as if, you know, when I say, I got the heart of the matter. How can you get the heart of the matter? So you can all this take out, take away all the coverings,
remove the
and
cover,
then
right.
get
the heart,
cracks of it, and declare that truth.
I see.
I mean, you cannot really say that it's a simple thing. I can say it. No, you say fasta, right, but you never mean what the Quran meant.
Correct. I mean, the translation doesn't convey anything.
No. Difficult translation. Even I cannot explain it. The experts explain it. Or you say, impossible. Humanly impossible to say this simple phrase. Seems to be simple. Anyways, this point is important. Quran's eloquence, balagha, eloquence is not only verbal eloquence, but the verbal eloquence is or allows the reader to get more and more layers of the meaning of what is mentioned there. That is why it is applicable. Each layer is applicable to the needs of a century. Another layer is maybe applicable to the needs of the another century. For example, how can I say? Whatever you need, what you do, you go and look for what you need. For example, you went into a huge depot or
Home Depot.
the Home Depot. Yeah. What you go there, I need, for example, hammer. Now you go to departments, look at the tools section, and go there. There are many kinds of tools. Look for the hammer and take it out. Now, the Qur'an's eloquence is like Home Depot.
I see.
Whatever you need, you see this.
No.
What you don't need, you don't see it. So earlier generations, let's use the same example. They don't need hammer. When they go to Home Depot, they don't see hammer.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which is normal.
Yeah.
What they need, they saw it. My typical example is if you look for the chair in a room, you don't see the needle. If you look for the needle, you don't see the chair. I mean, because it's not your intention. Come into this room and try to find out the needle you dropped, right? And come look for it and go back. Get out of the room. I'll ask you. Awesome. Example. How many chairs are there? Do you think you will know?
No.
Because pay attention.
Right.
That's why scholars look into the Quran according to needs of their ages, and they found it. Now, this age, scholarship is so superficial, so weak. They don't know how to look into the layers of meanings using the eloquence of the Quran, eloquence quality of the Quran. They don't find out. Usually, not everyone, but usually. That's why we are suffering now. How I can read the Quran according to needs of this age. Unfortunately, people go back and bring explanations which are done in 12th century. It was for 12th century. I need hammer now. Example. Or drill. Hammer wasn't a good example. I need drill. But in 12th century, if you brought the drill to them, they say, what's this? What shall I do with it? There is no electric power.
Right.
It's not good. And they will just throw it. Even they don't pay attention to it. It is good for nothing. I think the simple example explains why Salaf, great scholars, didn't prepare a text, interpret the Quran according to needs of 21st century. We have no right to blame them. We have to benefit from them, use their method, and apply it now, what Nursi does. I mean, as much as he does. Now, it needs more. It needs more. So it needs scholarship. Everybody just goes to Egypt, scholars, and we don't blame them. Good. People go there, learn something in at the most 5, 6 years, come to America and scholarship. Yeah, they know better than I do. All right. but it's not according to the needs of this age because they don't know how to dig it out from the Quran.
So although the human needs are the same through the ages, right? But the way we're getting it.
To present it. I mean, we are not talking about food.
Right.
Yes, but we are talking about the problems or intellectual problems of human beings.
Like human needs, like spiritual needs and
spiritual needs, but according to the, for example, people keep claiming that the things are evolving by themselves, and scientists are coming up with lots of challenging counter argument. That is my need, but my need is to see whether what scientists are saying, some materialist ones, and is it true or not? And the Quran says, no, this is not true. Truth is with me. I have to dig it out. Now, according to the challenge of this time, according to the challenge of 12th century, now before, they found out, for example, the argument between different schools of thought. Farah Meno. So she's studying that. So arguments between the schools of thought, you see how they delicately studied the, Farah, if I am wrong, correct me, how they delicately studied the verses of the Quran and found out the counter arguments against their opposite group. I see. Look, they look at the Quran to find out the evidence to answer the opposite group. Opposite group dig into the Quran to find out the counter argument to their own counterpart, it's an opposing group. But look, need was there. They would study it in order to satisfy the need. Now the need is different. But human need is, as you said, never changes. I want the children. Yes. But there is a challenging idea now. Materialism, naturalism. Yes? They are coming up with these philosophical interpretations, human interpretations. I need evidence. And I have to look for it from the Quran. I cannot say that Quran says, La ilaha illallah. So they deny, I don't know. You have to have the evidence now. Is it God who is creating it? Is it the cell which is producing its new generations? Which one? Now, what you have to see, if the cell is able to create it in order or to do something. So you have to see the Quran, how the Quran answers this with evidence, not claim. Claim is God created it. Who's God? Now, how can I understand the God? So that this God is the creator of the actions or reactions going on in the head, in the cell, sorry. Do you understand now? This God is the one who is based on the creating. Right. Yeah. So I have to find out the qualities of God. For example, we have been studying Qayyum, the name of God, Qayyum, for this purpose. Because nowadays, especially, people believe in Khaliq God, Creator God, not your last name, Creator God. Now, but we need Qayyum God. Qayyum God now. So I have to learn how the Qayyum is presented in the Quran himself, so I can see whether really witnessed and proved by the way the things are created. So I have to understand now God's being self-subsistent and the subsisting everything at every moment. Because the qayyum is this. Now, I need qayyum now. Not only khaliq. But before qayyum was needed, it is not studied widely.
I see.
Do you understand? So, Farah, are you here?
Yes, yes. I also wrote a comment in the chat box.
Well, let's see. So,
yeah.
do you see how Mu'tazila, Shia, Sunni quarrel is digged out in the Quran? Let's read it.
Right. Yeah, I just wrote that there is a sense amongst people who study tafsir that they are more like works of social history or intellectual history, helping us understand the context of a particular time and place of the mufassir than what the Quran means. So that one should read classical tafsir as a work of history rather than about the Quran and its meaning. So there is, this sort of sensibility amongst people.
So we have to, did you mean that? Okay, let's read this one.
Yeah, she read it. Basically, she's saying it's the context of a particular time and place.
The tafsir is more like a history of that time and place and how people thought about the Quran than about what the Quran is and what its meaning is. So, yeah, it tells us more about the person and their world and their social and political surrounding than it does about the Quran.
Yeah, but what we meant here, what we want to understand the value of the Quranic eloquence. If there is a need, you go into the Quran, you can find the answer from the Quran. Through his eloquence quality, the quality of eloquence. Because the words are put, the context, how the words are contextualized, right? So, for example, qayyum comes from qameh, correct? Now,
yes.
Look at qameh. How many meanings the qameh has?
Probably a lot.
50? Yeah? So qayyum comes from there. So which layer of the meaning of qameh I should use for the name of qayyum, which answers the need of my time? So we understand. What you said, I understand. They have their own conditions, and they try to understand the guidance from the Quran to solve the problems of their own time. Correct? So far?
Yes.
Now, what I mean here, we have to study the Quran to find out the needs of this time, because Quran allows this quality. Quran has this quality to give you the layer of meaning in it, because of it is perfectly arranged eloquence. Not only eloquence in language, integrated with its meaning. That's why from the beginning I said Arab poems were great, but they had only one layer of meaning. Quran has endless layers of meaning. So the Quran's eloquence quality, the quality of eloquence, is not only describing something in a beautiful way, but with one object, with one subject, if you like.
I see.
No, many different layers of the meaning of the subject. That is why people say we cannot get the end of the quality of eloquence of the Quran, because the more needs we have, the more meanings of layers we can get out of the Quran. What you said is just leave the old one in its own place and benefit from it. Our subject is eloquence of the Quran as being timeless.
So using the eloquence to actually get the different flavors of meaning.
Now it refers to many different layers of meaning because of the structure of the sentence. Depending on your need, you can give this meaning, you can give this shade of meaning. You can take this shade of meaning.
I see. Yeah. So that's through the eloquence, the way the words is.
For example, if you go to the details of this word, fasta, why fe, not where?
Right.
Now in the form of command. Not it is the command in it is this is I think the third form, the first form. Why not second form? Can we read it in this way? These are all possible. And also fasta bima. Now why be? Be. Then bima. I think Farah understands. Why billezi? Why not billezi? They mean roughly the same.
Why be?
But bima.
Bima, okay.
Yeah. Why tu'mar? Rather than using another form of the verb. For example, fasta bima, let's say, تحدث. What is you are told, or bima Allahu yenzilu ileyk. Why emr? Command. All of them has meanings,
right.
And particularly you can choose it according to your need of your time. Just a small phrase. There are many possibilities of understanding it.
I see.
It allows it. Farah, did you get what I meant? I'm speaking personally because you are studying this subject.
You're saying that the particular choice of the word has significance. One, the particular choice of the word is intentional. It has many layers of that meaning. And we have to decide which level of that meaning applies to the problem that we're solving for us today.
If we don't need it, you don't look for it because you don't know what you are going to look for. So in your age, that layer of meaning, that shade of meaning will not appear to you because you don't. That is why I gave the needle and chair example. What you are looking for, you don't know the others.
Right.
So as the needs emerge, then you look for the Quran to get the answer for your need, satisfaction for your need, and Quran has it. That's why Quran says, I am the speech of infinitely knowledgeable one, Ali. Now we say Quran Kareem, Quran Hakim, what is Kitabullah, but in fact, the Quran must be understood Kitabul Alim. Alim means infinite source of knowledge. Kitabul Alim. And also Kitabul Hakim as well. Kitabul Kareem. Also, but as far as our subject is concerned, infinite knowledge is speaking here. knowing what you and I will need in 21st century in New York, for example. Now, as far as you are concerned, I think in Philadelphia or somewhere, or Pennsylvania.
Right.
That's your conditions. You look for it. If you look for it, if you know how to look for it, you find your answers to your problems. Mm-hmm. For example, if a friend of yours came to you and asked a problem, now it is a problem. What is the answer? Mm-hmm. But if you know how to search into the Quran, you will say, this verse has this here. Right. Because of the structure of the sentence or eloquence, the quality of the eloquence it uses, allows you to dig it out. If only you have the need and if only you know how to dig out. Mm-hmm. But if you are not a chemist, you cannot know what the ingredients of the metal is. Right. But you have to learn it professionally, and then you find that's why we need professionals like the professionals, or somehow Nurse speaks in a simple way actually to educate us. We know that we cannot understand further than this.
In Balagha professionals.
Yeah, just according to our level.
Mm-hmm. Do they do that anywhere?
Yeah, cool. Read it. Now, according to our level. It needs words. You have to start it with the age of 5.
Age of 5?
It is not enough. Human lifetime is not enough if you start after 30 years old.
Yes, the Quran does not become weary, even if repeated thousands of times. Indeed, it gives pleasure. I think we read this.
Yeah, we compared it with the poems or songs.
Yeah.
They keep changing. People get tired of it.
Right.
But the Quran not.
Correct, yeah. It's like sherbet to the palate of one in the throes of death. The recitation of the Quran gives sweet pleasure. So sweet pleasure to the ear and mind of such a person, just like Zamzam water to his mouth and palate. The reason for its not causing boredom and the wisdom of it is this. It is food and sustenance for the heart. The Quran is the strength and wealth for the mind, water and light for the spirit, and the cure and remedy for the soul. Every day we eat bread, yet we do not tire of it. But if we were to eat the choicest fruit every day, it would cause boredom. That means it is because the Quran is truth and reality, and truthfulness and guidance, and wonderfully eloquent, that it does not cause weariness and preserves its freshness and agreeableness as though preserving a perpetual youth.
Quran gives the essential, or prepares or presents to us to satisfy our essential needs. Essential. For example, let's say you have some problems with your ear. Mm-hmm. Is it your essential need?
No.
No, but temporary, you need, so Quran doesn't say anything about it.
Right, so
how to cure your ear. But what is the essential need now to make your life meaningful, satisfactory, and in your existence you need to be secure.
Right.
You need to feel secure and never be afraid of death, and whatever happens, it is knowingly created.
Right.
under the wisdom and mercy of the Creator. So this needs are essential.
This security is needed. Yeah.
Essential needs.
Essential.
But the Quran only talks about essential needs.
Right. And also there's the curiosity about who is speaking in a way, right? Like this ghaibi, those matters. And of the hereafter, we don't know that also, right?
So we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but that is why essential need is not to know hereafter.
Right.
But essential need is how can I secure my existence? So Quran says there is hereafter, don't worry. And gives the evidence.
Right. Just comparing it to the poems. Poems talk about something worldly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the worldly, the beauty of a woman, none of my
but
business.
nothing to do with ghaibi aspect or nothing to do
Not
with
essential, not answering. Exactly, good point, very good point. Not exactly, they are
essential.
giving news about the essential needs of human beings. I mean, preparing the food, what I really need.
Right.
No, just like, I don't know, apparatus. Well, it may not. Well, if I don't have it, I wouldn't
it's
become
not exactly. Yeah.
The pointless creature.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. So the essential needs of human beings.
It's called this food compared to bread or this essential. It's a simple example.
Right. Food and sustenance for
So
the
food,
heart.
not only for one thing. Food is for heart and for spirit, for mind, intellect.
Water and light for the spirit.
I mean, water, it means a different way. Don't say what is spirit for, water for spirit. No. We have to read them. My heart needs different thing. My spirit needs different food.
Different, yeah.
My intellect
needs different. Interesting, yeah.
So everything, every essential needs must be according to the need of the side in my existence. Do you understand? No.
Whatever my need of my human side,
what I essentially need.
Right.
For example, understanding rationally is an essential need. Is it enough? No. My feelings need something else.
Right.
My spirit needs something else. Now I understand rationally, I have a creator. Right?
But my feelings need to be satisfied. Can
I love this creator? That is something else. That is heart. Spirit. Now, did I give it something?
Yeah, that makes sense. So,
no. So my heart needs satisfaction. My mind needs proof. Mathematical proof. But mathematical proof is for my mind. Yeah, I understand. That's it. But yeah, I understand. There is a creator. All right. None of my business. So what? Yeah, there's a creator. Yeah. I give this simple example. It's very simple. Explains a lot. I know this house is a builder or owner. Right? So I have to take care of my living down. Understand? But how can I live with this maker of the house so that each time when I use something, I will realize that, oh, this owner or builder loves me. So I am in the house of a builder who loves me in every action he does. Satisfaction is different.
Correct.
But rational satisfaction, yes, I in this house as a builder.
Got it.
So human beings have many other aspects, mainly mind,
Heart,
heart,
feelings.
spirit. You know, heart indeed satisfaction, spirit is eternity.
Right.
Now, I am satisfied that the owner of this house is not going to chase me away from this house. I will stay here. Okay. But no, and I know it is going. He loves me. Okay, the owner of the house loves me. All right. But I am going to die. This owner of house can save my life? No. Can he save my life? I'm going to die. Can you stop me from dying?
The owner of the house?
Here, example.
No.
No. So I need a house owner, on house of my existence, the owner of my existence, who can give me eternal life. That is the need of spirit. The need of mind is different.
Right.
Need of heart is different. Need of spirit is different. Quran provides all of them.
All of this are answers.
As long as you feel hungry,
From all...
you realize I need this.
So the spirit, mind, and the heart needs to look for it.
No, it is with you, but it is there potentially. You have to dig it out, pull it out, and see. I need this as well. And look for it. There is nothing in the Quran gives security in your needs. No, there is nothing in the world gives security in the needs of your all aspects. Quran says, I am here. And study the science of the rhetoric. Yeah.
Inshallah.
Okay. Let's finish the paragraph.
Right. So that means the Quran, because the Quran is truth and reality and truthfulness and guidance and wonderfully eloquent, that it does not cause weariness and preserves its freshness and agreeableness as though preserving a perpetual youth. One of the Qurayshi leaders, even an expert orator, was sent by the idolaters to listen to the Quran. He went and listened, then returned and said to them, those words have such a sweetness and freshness that they do not resemble the words of men. I know the poets and soothsayers. These words do not resemble theirs. The best we can do is mislead our followers and say it is magic. Just suyuti. Thus, even the all-wise Quran's most obdurate enemies were amazed at its eloquence.
I think it's understood. Shall we come to the following verse? Or shall we stop here and another subject is starting.
Yep. We'll do that. Okay, we can stop here, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سورة الفاتحة. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.